Once in a while, we have a chance to work on a piece of railroad history that has a special meaning to my family. In the mid-1970s, my dad and I would regularly attend our Live Steam Club's monthly meeting on a Friday night, and part of those meetings featured entertainment, usually an old 16mm film about railroading. One of the most popular films shown was the Union Pacific's Last of the Giants, a 1958 movie made about the 4000s, or better known as the Big Boy class of locomotives. The film explained that adding more driving wheels was one way of gaining more tractive effort, and a large locomotive was seen traveling down the line pulling a string of boxcars. That locomotive was a 1923 Baldwin-built 210-2, the Union Pacific's 5511. The 5511 was stored out of service for 60 years in the Union Pacific's Cheyenne Roundhouse, and in 2022 donated along with the 3985 to the Railroading Heritage of Midwest America's facility in Silvis, Illinois. In January of 2025, the whistle was removed and sent to us for servicing in preparation for its return to service as 5511 makes her way back to steam. The 5511's whistle is a star brass 5 chime, one of the first manufacturers to use the step-top design. The whistle had seen a lot of action, and as most steam age artifacts, it had not received much attention at the end of steam. We usually start our repairs with the bowl and languid plate. The bowl often has an out-of-round condition that needs to be trued up so the steam slit is concentric. This one was not out by much, and removing a few thousandths of an inch was all it was required to clean up the issue. The next order of business was the spring seat. It was frozen onto the body of the bowl and had many pipe wrench marks of attempts to remove it from some time in the distant past. We machined a new, smaller diameter hex onto the existing casting so we could use a striking wrench and some heat to break it free. Once removed, it was obvious that it was beyond repair, so a new spring seat was machined out of bronze. After the spring seat, the next step was to repair the worn valve stem guide. This is a common issue, and if worn to this extent, the valve will not seat correctly when closed, allowing the valve to leak constantly. We bored out the guide in the yoke, making sure we were in line with the valve seat, and then pressed a bushing with the correct diameter for the valve stem. Once those two items were corrected, the poppet valve stem was trued up and the valve surface was refreshed. While work on the bowl was underway, the bell was sent to my brother's shop in the Sierra foothills for a repair of 2 of the steam control fins that had been broken off the bell casting. Steve fabricated and brazed on 2 new fins matching the profile of the originals. Once the bell was returned, a new center support rod was machined and the whistle reassembled, painted, and packaged up for shipment back to Silvis, Illinois. The whistle is now ready for her 2nd century of service back on her locomotive, the UP 5511. We can't thank the railroading heritage of Midwest America enough for allowing us to work on a piece of railroad history and a cherished family memory.